Let's actually start today seated. If your hips are a bit more tight, I would have you sit on a block with your shins to the floor. That's a supported hero's pose. And if you're okay sitting on your heels, you can sit on your heels, or you could even sit between your heels, which is a bit more advanced. And I'm going to sit on my heels. So like I said, this is about hip flexor opening, your psoas, which connects from above the pelvis to below the pelvis. So when it's tight, it causes kind of this like butt to stick out and this pike to happen. So if you're working for example, handstand and you're always piked, you're not able to straighten, or even your chaturanga if you're piked, your hip flexor might be a bit tight. It comes into play in a lot of things: running, jumping, back pain. It can cause if it's super tight. If you're not able to get deeper in your back bends, one of the reasons can be because it's a little bit tighter. So it can be the culprit in a lot of things. It doesn't necessarily mean it is the culprit all the time, but it's just something to look for, and it just feels really great to stretch because it's in a shortened position when we're sitting all day, if you're sitting all day, and it's really nice to tap into some stretches there. Okay, let's find a seat, whatever seat you have. Place your palms flat on your thighs. Take a big breath in through your nose, and then breathe out through your nose. Almost make like a Darth Vader humming noise in your throat and in your chest. Again, in and out. One more time, in and out. Tuck your chin to your chest. Roll your ear to your shoulder. Drop your head back and roll your opposite ear to your shoulder. Tuck your chin down. Hi, Lenny. Over. So we're making big neck circles, really warming up your shoulders and your neck. Really, no matter what I'm practicing, this is a great way to start. Pause at the bottom and then rotate the other way. Especially in the morning, the neck and shoulders are very tight. Good. And from here, let's go ahead and interlace your hands in front of you. Press your palms forward around your back. Create as much space as you can between the back of your hands and your shoulder blades. So you're rounding your shoulder blades away from each other. Draw the belly into the spine. Inhale, press your palms up to the ceiling. Straight up, get really, really tall. And then exhale, sweep your arms back behind you. Get big, nice shoulder circle. Maybe you get some cracks. Interlace your hands. Press your knuckles forward. Round your back. Inhale, lift. Get really tall through the sides. And exhale, sweep all the way back. Good. Last one. Interlace your hands. Press your knuckles forward. Inhale, lift your palms up. And exhale, sweep your arms back. Uh-oh, Lenny's going for his bone. This is not good. Okay. Place your hands behind you. 1 second as I get Lenny. He always goes for like the noisiest bone when I'm recording. It's like I'm not even joking. He does. Okay, so sit on your heels. And we're gonna take a really nice stretch. Sorry, technical difficulties. Palms down, sit on your heels and sit back. And from here, I want you to engage your glutes. Lift your hips up, right? So you're lifting from the pelvis and you're curling your tailbone forward. Rather than making it camel where you're like lifting and arching back, you're really not arching at all. I want you to make a slope from your shoulders down to your knees. So you should feel the front of your hips start to open up. Let's do from more the side. Lift and squeeze your butt for 5. Press forward, tailbone forward and up. So your tailbone is like curling up. Last 3. Push your shins down to the floor for 2. And 1. Lower it down. Whew. Nice little warm up for your glutes. All right. And I don't know about you, but I felt it in front of my hip, which is kind of the idea. All right, let's take some cat-cows here to further warm up the spine. As you inhale, heart forward, shoulders back. Exhale, push away and round. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, push away. Last one, inhale forward. And exhale, push away. Good. Let's find a flat back position and extend your right leg straight back behind you. Level out your pelvis. The tendency is to lift the hips up. See if you can keep it flat for now. All right, and then extend your left arm forward. Draw a straight line back. So you want to take out the arch in your low back. And instead, think about making a long line, lifting from the glutes rather than from the arch in the back. From here, bend your back knee, reach your left arm back, and see if you can grab your ankle. If you have your ankle, kick your foot to your hand, pull your hand to your foot, and make almost like a teardrop shape through the back of the body. You're kicking hard and you're pulling hard. Lift out of the right shoulder, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and out. Listen carefully, re-extend the leg, re-extend the arm. Keep your leg lifted, place your left hand to the floor. Roll open so that you're in a supported side plank, your left knee down, right leg lifted. Pause here, firing up the outer glutes. You can stay as you are. This is also a version of supported side plank. Otherwise, bend your knee, grab your foot, kick your foot into your hand. This is the shape we'll hopefully come back to in half moon pose. It's called like a sugar cane variation or Chopasana. And it's just like kind of when we're on our hands and knees where you want to kick into your hand and pull into your foot and create as much space as you can in the back line of the body. Feel your shoulder stretch, your hip, and your back stretch. Now from here, again, listen carefully, extend the leg, keep it lifted. I know it might want to drop. Place your right hand to the floor, tuck your left toes under, one-legged down dog. Kick your right leg high as you tuck your left toes under. Hold it here, push into your hands, bend your knee, feel your hip further open. Stretch your chest towards your left thigh. Straighten your right leg. Exhale, place your right foot to the floor. Downward facing dog, pedal right and pedal left. And then from here, lower all the way down to your knees. Let's do that sequence on the other side, all right? Extend your left leg straight back behind you and make sure you're switching side. Once again, rather than dipping in the spine, I want you to flatten out, engage, and lift from the leg and the glutes rather than from the dip. All right, right arm forward, you got this. Stay here to engage or bend your left knee, reach your right hand back. Good, kick the foot to the hand, pull the hand to the foot, and arch. Find elevation in the back knee and lift out of your front shoulder. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. From here, slowly release, extend. Remember, don't drop that foot quite yet. Place your right hand to the floor. Open your body to the side for supported side plank. I'm going to just pivot so you can see a little bit. Okay. Pause, feel the outer glute lift. Bend your knee, and then once again, grab the foot. This time it's same hand to same foot. If you're having trouble balancing, then readjust your bottom leg for support, and then kick the foot to the hand, pull the hand to the foot, and see if you can open up to the side. Rolling your top shoulder back, kick your foot, and feel the front of your left hip really start to relax. You're doing great. Re-extend, left arm high. And remember, keep that left leg up if you can. Left hand down, down dog kick, tuck your right toes, keep your left leg lifted, and come on up. Begin with a straight leg, find extension, and then bend the knee and open the hip. Bring your heel to your butt, bring your chest to your thigh, and push into your hands. Inhale, straighten the leg, and exhale, plant your feet to the floor. Pedal right and pedal left. Do what feels good in your body for just a moment. And then walk your feet forward to the top of your mat, push into your palms, and bend your knees, and really just grab your elbows and let everything hang, so everything is in a softened position. Your knees are bent so the hamstrings are not pulled to the max. Hip flexor is not pulled to the max because you're bent over. You're almost resting on your thighs. Almost. It's almost a rest. It's about as good as we can get here. And from here, begin to interlace your hands behind your back for a chest stretch, chest expansion. If you can't reach your hands, you can grab a strap, a belt, anything like that. Rope, a bungee cord. And then you can begin to straighten your knees if you're feeling it. If you're feeling pretty good, I know it's early in the morning. Hamstrings are usually tighter early in the morning. So maybe you're happy here. It's your happy place. Maybe you want to go ahead and start straightening it out. let's all just bend the left knee and then allow your fist to pass over your left hip and gaze up past your right shoulder. Now bend your right knee, straighten your left leg, and allow your fist to come past your right hip. Look up past your left shoulder. Bend both knees, release your hands to the floor, and heel toe your feet to touch. And slowly, slowly, slowly come your way to stand, all the way up. Roll your shoulders back and down, like 3 times. Really open through the chest, ground through the feet, and press your hips forward. All right, inhale, stretch the arms high. With your right hand is going to grab your left wrist, and I want you to bend all the way over to the right for 5. Push into your feet for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, switch your grip. Left hand grabs right arm. Exhale, side bend to the left. Push into your feet, press your hips forward. So rather than dipping back, right, you want to keep them forward so it's a straight side bend. You're like a piece of spaghetti. Last 2. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, take a little bit of a back bend. Maybe for today, bring your hands to your hips, separate your feet, and just push your pelvis forward so you're getting a little bit more hip action rather than just upper heart opening. Push your hips forward, lift your heart. Doesn't have to be very deep. Just breathe, feel the front line of your body start to open. Push into your feet, squeeze into your knees. All right, inhale, stretch the arms high. Exhale, forward fold. We're not doing a ton of sun salutes, but I do want you to just warm up with 1 or 2 today. Inhale, flat back, extend the spine, fingers to shins. Exhale, plant your hand, high plank. Pause, engage the belly. Rock forward and back. Rock forward and back. For 3. For 2, warm up your toes and ankles. Last 1, shift forward, hold forward, lower halfway chest forward. Inhale, upward facing dog, and pause. Tops of your feet to the floor, curl your chest forward. Feel your hip flexors open even in this posture, especially in this posture. Breathe, push out of your shoulders. If you see in the mirror you're doing this, right? You know, that can't be good. Push out. Feel like Ariel, the Little Mermaid or whatever. Tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk or hop. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Just 1 breath this time. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, rise. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, rise. Exhale, separate your feet, hands to hips. Inhale, push your hips forward, back bend. Good, and exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, flat back, extend your spine. Exhale, plant your hands and step back into plank. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing. Pause, take an extra breath here. And then exhale, downward facing. This time, inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. Push into your hands, bend your knee and open your hip. Stack your right hip on top of your left. Bring your right heel to your left glute, towards it. Press your chest towards your thigh. Push into your hands. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, low lunge. Bring it through. Then drop the back knee to the floor and bring your hands to your hips. Kneeling warrior. So this type of warrior today, sometimes we go deep, we go into it, but today it actually has to, it's going to feel deeper, but it's going to look less pushed forward. Just for today's purposes, you want about 90 degrees in your front knee, bend your back knee, and grab your ankle. If this hurts, if your floor is really hard, or your knee is a bit more sensitive, double over your mat, so fold it over again, stick a towel under there, a pillow under there, anything, or just kind of lean forward and roll off of it without dumping. I just don't want this to happen because this becomes a low back thing, and I want us to stay in the pelvis. So grab your foot, kick your foot to your hand, but curl your tailbone forward and up. Your pubic bone comes forward, and then you should feel that intense stretch in the front of your left hip. Look forward as you kick for 3, for 2. Keep pushing forward with the pelvis. Last 1. Release the grip on your back foot. Place your hands to the floor or to your 2 blocks, one on each side. Ardha Hanumanasana, which is half split. Draw the hips back. Again, you have all these like straight lines. Your hip is directly over your back knee. Stretch your chest forward and flex your front toes towards your nose. With that flexion, inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, straighten the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. Pause about halfway with a long spine, and then windshield wiper your foot. So like you're cleaning glass with your foot, side to side, getting in the hip, mobilizing. Last one there. Take a last stretch as you fold over your front leg. So you should feel this in the front of your right leg and the back of your front leg. So in the hamstring and calf area of your right leg. Let's come into runner's lunge. Place both hands to the inside of your right foot. Bend your right knee, tuck your back toes under. And we're staying up on your palms for this first variation, and we're just gonna hinge forward and back, forward and back. Drop your pelvis towards the floor, reach your tailbone towards your back heel. Squeeze your left glute as you rock. Last 3, 2. Remember, you can always modify anywhere. You can drop your back knee here, would be the modification. Okay, push into your left hand, shimmy your right foot halfway back. This is supported side plank. Lift your hips, feel your outer hip and glute stretch. This is a great place to stay and hang out. Otherwise, fold, Vashisthasana, side plank pose. Lift your pelvis to the sky, lift your hips up. Now you could stay here, or I'm gonna add one more little advanced option. Bend your top knee, grab it with your foot, coming into that same shape. Kick the foot to your hand, pull your hand to your foot, and once again, work to create that circle shape. Eagle eye view. If you were looking from the ceiling, there'd be a big donut between your hand and your foot. Last 2. Good, release, extend. Exhale, plant your hands. Down dog or vinyasa. Push down. Upward facing, downward facing. Other side, same sequence. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, bend your knee and open your hip. Bring your heel to your butt. Point your knee to the sky. Press your chest towards your thigh. Push into your hands. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale, bring it through. Drop the back knee, kneeling warrior. Inhale, come on up. Just bring your hands to your hips so you can really feel the 90-90. So again, it's not this. There's nothing wrong with this pose. It's just not what we're doing today, right? This is more if I wanted you to warm up in your low back. So more 90 degrees. Your shoulders are over your hips. Curl the pelvis forward, curl the tailbone forward, squeeze your right glute. And then if you can, this is again just an option, grab that back foot with your right hand. Kick the foot to the hand, pull the hand to the foot, but push your tailbone forward. You're almost like engaging here. You should feel it light up in a good way. Keep pushing for 3. You're doing great. Hopefully you're feeling good. 2. Keep pushing, keep pulling. This is really a leverage kind of pose. It might not look like much, but it should feel like a lot. And lastly, release. Coming into your half split, maybe you have your blocks by your side, remember? It's a great place to have them, one on each side, and it just gives you that elevation. Anytime your hands are on the floor, there's an option to use a block to raise the floor to you, so just keep that in mind. Okay, half split, hips aligned over back knee, inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. Feel your left hamstring, calf, and Achilles start to open fresh. Last one, inhale and exhale. Now hold about halfway so your back is flat and windshield wiper. See how far you can go towards the pinky side, how far you can go towards the big toe side, but keep your foot flexed. Ooh, right? You can almost hear it squeaking. Gotta oil that joint. All right, bring both hands to the inside. Tuck your back toes under, lift your palms. You can keep the back knee lowered if you need that moment. And then let's rock forward and back, forward and back. Doing great. Reach your tailbone towards your back heel. Lengthen your chest forward. What I like about the sequence, blocks are optional, but you really don't need any equipment. You could even do it on your bare floor if you didn't have a yoga mat. From here, pause. Shimmy your left foot halfway back and lift up into that version of supported side plank. I'll rotate just to show you. Stay where you are. Good. Lift through your hips. Now from here, option to stack your feet for Fascisthasana, full side plank. And further option from there is to bend that top knee. Kick the foot to the hand, pull the hand to the foot, and make that arc. Back bend, hip opener, shoulder opener. Beautiful feeling stretch. Re-extend the leg. Exhale, plant your hands. Down dog or vinyasa. And exhale. All right, we're going to kind of build on from that sequence. Looks like a stackable. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Inhale, lift and straighten. Exhale, bring your leg through. This time, come into high crescent lunge. Rise up. Bend your front knee a lot. Reach your arms high. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips and lower your back knee to hover. So I'm going to show you. You want almost like 90-90. Front knee 90 degrees, back knee 90 degrees. Curl your pelvis forward. Sounds like a broken record, but that's the intention for today. Pelvis forward. And then reach your arms up. Right hand grabs left wrist, just like we did in the warm-up. Take a side bend, but in this hovering lunge. You should feel a stretch all the way down your side, into your hip, into your quad. Lower and hover. The lower you go, the more intense it will be. Inhale, lift yourself up to rise. Good, we're coming into one-legged standing, so launch forward. Reach up, left knee up, flex your foot. Belly in, stand really, really tall. Engaging the hip flexor now and push into your right leg really strong. Push your right hip forward, lift your left knee up. From here, let's come into airplane pose. Sweep your arms back, kick your leg back. Level out your hips. From here, bend your right knee, hover, 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 hover. Touch back with your left foot. Reverse warrior, sweep your left arm back. Spin your back hip flat, reach your arm high. Shoot your right shin forward. Exhale, side angle pose. Right elbow to left, right thigh, and reach your left arm forward. You can bring your hand to the mat, or you can just keep it here, but the main intention is to open through the chest. Lengthen your back, your hip, tailbone to your back heel. Good. From here, plant your hands to the inside of your front foot once again. Pause here, runner's lunge. Engage your back glute. Push into your left hand, either supported half side plank, full side plank. From here, take your top foot, place it behind you. Wild thing, lift your hips up to the sky, lift your chest up, over and back. I want you to think about pushing your tailbone up to the ceiling. Squeeze your glutes a little bit, push into your left hand, and just breathe. Every breath of this posture will get easier, I promise. You just gotta stick it out a little bit. Feel the heart opening, the hips opening, and exhale, plant your hand to the floor. Down dog or vinyasa. Just depends if you wanna use more energy or conserve more energy. Down dog, inhale, lift your left leg to the sky. Bend your knee and open your hip. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, low lunge. Crescent lunge, inhale. Exhale, hands down to your hips and hover your back knee. Pause here. Find those 90 degrees if you need to readjust. Curl the tailbone forward. And then reach the arms high. Left hand grabs right wrist. Side bend to the left. You should feel that all the way down your right arm, into your right hip, quad, all the way into the knee. You can see how far reaching this class is. Working your hip flexors, It's not just targeting one area, it's really a whole line of your body. You come out of this class with like John Travolta hips, you know? Inhale up. And then let's go ahead and stand on your left leg. So launch your right foot forward and flex your foot like you're standing on something. Engaging the front of your right hip this time as you push your left hip forward. That you're really engaging them in different ways. One is in flexion and one is in extension. And from here, kick it back into airplane pose or a warrior three. Once again, the hips want to open. See if you can control that. Level it out. Level out your pelvis. Roll your right hip down slightly. Bend your left knee. Hover. 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 Work for it. And then lightly touch back. Inhale, reverse warrior. Stretch it up, stretch it over, but keep that bend in the front knee, shooting it forward. Exhale, Parshva side angle pose. Elbow to thigh, reach the arm forward. You could bring hand to the floor, but I'll tell you, sometimes I honestly get more out of it lifting than lowering. And again, your blocks, right? If you feel like elbow to thigh is not enough support and you want to kind of almost go to the floor, you can place your hand on a block and then use that to open. Either way. 2. And plant your hands to the floor. Last one. Coming into that runner's lunge. Walk your left foot halfway back. Halfway supported side plank. Great place to stay. Or side plank. Transition. Bring your left foot up and over. Lift your hips to the sky. Wild thing. Again, give yourself some time to really embrace this posture. To open up, to stretch it out, to breathe. Such a beautiful stretch. Heart opener, shoulder opener, hip opener. And then from here, look down. Exhale, plant your hands. Down dog or vinyasa. The repetition brings the strength and brings the opening. Downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Drop to your knees. We'll just pause. Take a moment to breathe. I'm sitting back on my heels, so you get a nice toe stretch. You can come into child's pose. And I want you to just kind of think about it. Take a moment. Absorb the practice this far. We've got a lot more. So settle your breath and like connect the breath with the pulse. You feel the beating of your heart and you feel the rhythm of your breath. Maybe you need to close your eyes, but start to find cohesion between the pulsing and the breathing. And that's a place of peace. Beautiful. We're going to come into a half hero, reclined half heroes pose. It's kind of just our resting interlude for a moment from our vinyasas. This one can get intense and your knees have to be kind of okay with it. So heroes pose is when you sit down in between your heels. If that is just not happening today, grab a block or fold up a towel a bunch, roll up a towel, bolster, a couch cushion, anything, and just sit on it. And then what I want you to do is lean back, just like we did at the beginning, and push your tailbone forward and up. All right? So that's the like more level 1 version, and that's great. You're gonna feel lots there. Level 2 is keep your left foot bent back as it is, and place your right foot forward in front of you. I'm gonna try to get a good angle for you guys. And from here, I want you to just start leaning back onto your elbows. As you lean back, push your tailbone forward and up. Let me turn to this side. So push your tailbone forward and up so you're like tucking under, again like that John Travolta, right? What movie was that? With the pelvic tucks. Okay, anyways, I digress. And you're really gonna feel a lot here. Play with maybe staying like this, maybe straightening your leg out, maybe you feel more, maybe you feel less that way, or maybe even lowering all the way down onto your back. Keep pushing your pelvis forward and up. Again, your knee has to be okay with this. Mine, after a long time of practicing, is fine, but I know it's not going to happen on day 1, and that's okay. Like I said at the beginning, there's just so much room for modification here in this class. I'm always So this is the version I feel the most in with my front leg bent. I tend to feel less when I extend my leg out. So just work with what feels the best. All right, from here, come on back up. Whew, that's a good one, huh? And then stretch your leg out, just shake it out. Let's go to the other side. You don't have to keep flipping on your mat. I'm just trying to show you some good angles so you know what I'm doing. Roll the calf to the side and sit your butt right between. I have zero pain in my knee, so it's not like pain is good in this one. And this is not a no pain, no gain situation. You don't want knee pain. That's not a good pain. Drop the elbows to the floor, and before you lower it down, if you're lowering down, really lift and curl your pelvis. So you're pushing your lower back towards the floor rather than arching up. No flash dance here, right? It may look better for a picture, right? But if you want to feel the sensation, you really want to press the low back down and lift your tailbone up. Stay here or slowly lower all the way down to your back. And I'm continually pushing and opening the front of my right hip. This is an intense one, possibly the most intense, I'll tell you. But it's awesome. I happen to love this pose. It feels amazing. Just about 2 more breaths. Will you guys message me after class and tell me what you thought of this posture? Hurt so good. There's so many times where that John Mellencamp song comes into play in yoga class. Anyways, I digress a lot. Sorry about that. Hopefully you don't mind. My regular students know. It's like half bad comedy hour and half yoga. All right, so stretch your legs out in front of you if you come out of that pose. And once again, shake it out. Just kind of soften everything up. Let's come into a really fun balancing posture before we keep going in our class. Well, all these fun things planned for you. This is my class sequence in case you wanted to know. I can usually read it. Tuck your toes under. Down dog. We're going to go into something called bound dog, which requires a lot of balance, mobility, and like focus. I'd say a lot of focus. So come into a short and down dog. So your feet are a little bit closer to your hands. Turn your right toes in, so it's almost like a warrior 2 foot. And then lift your left leg up to the sky. Push into your left hand, and just begin by lightening your right fingertips to the floor. Right? See how you don't need them because you're so solid in your right leg and your left hand. And reach your right hand up. Keep pushing into your left hand, bend your back knee, and just like that same shape we've been doing throughout class, grab your foot. Kick your foot to your hand. Pull your hand to your foot. This is bound dog. Squeeze. If it's challenging, you're doing it right. It's a challenging balance. Last 3, kick, 2, and mindfully re-extend without slingshotting, lower it down. Good, pedal right, pedal left. Other side, spin your left heel flat like it's in a warrior 2. Lift your right leg up. It just gives you a bit more support. Reach your left hand back behind you. Bend your right knee. Grab your foot. Kick the foot to the hand. Pull the hand to the foot. Lift the knee. Hold for 5, 4, keep pushing into your hand. 3, 2, slowly re-extend with control. The release is just as important as the actual pose. And exhale, place your foot down, pedal it out. Wasn't that fun? Again, that's another posture. If it's your first time, it might be a bit more challenging, but as you keep practicing it and working on the components, it's way more accessible. Right, inhale, right leg high. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. This time come into flip dog. Place your foot down, lift your hips high. It's just like Wild Thing, but coming into it from a down dog. Place your hand to the floor, down dog kick. Exhale, low lunge. From here, inhale, crescent lunge. Again, bend your back knee. This time, instead of lateral flexion, we're taking rotation. Open your arms and twist. So we're gonna take a couple like windmill twists. I'm just gonna twist. This is really like flossing of the hip. Hopefully you're not doing this near anything breakable. I would not recommend this move near your fancy vase collection or your collectibles. I want you to keep that front knee bend, keep your back knee bend, and just twist. You should feel super intense opening, flossing sensation almost. All right, pause in that open arm twist, exalted warrior. You can straighten your back leg finally. That almost feels like a rest. Inhale, lift your left arm up to the sky. Exhale for crescent prayer twist. Hook your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Place your palms together and rotate. Push out of your back foot, slightly forward. Again, reach your tailbone towards your back heel. Squeeze your left glute. Lower your left hip towards the floor, the front of the hip, and then rotate. Come to your breath. The ability to stay calm, even in challenging situations, is one of the benefits of yoga. That's why yogis are known to be calmer, I guess. So we put ourselves in these challenges, right? And we just chill in them. We find a way. This is as much workout for your brain as it is your body. Revolved half moon pose is your next. From here, look down. Place your left hand to the floor or a block. I always like my half moons in a block. It just feels better that way. And from here, left hand on the block. Launch into your right foot. Revolved half moon. Open your right arm to the sky. Lift your left leg. Rotate your chest open. Squeeze the inner thighs. Lift through the heel. Option to stay here. I'm going to give you a few options, all right? And some of them are a bit more advanced. So feel free to do whatever works for you. Grab your foot. Take it into your hand for revolve bound half moon. It's a tough one. Even tougher. You want it? You got it. Revolve dancer's pose. Gaze down. And then slowly lighten your left hand from the floor. And lift up. Once you lift, then you can start to kick and pull. Moving in opposite directions. For 3. For 2. And last one. Release your hands to the floor. Move your block aside. Your right leg should be having a good burn about now. Let's take a couple handstand hops. You're welcome to stay in your standing L and just keep burning out your leg, your quad. Like I said, hip flexor, you may not believe it, but it's important for hamstring. If your hip flexor is tight, it's going to constantly be pulling you down into a pike, which just makes finding a straighter line really more challenging. All right, plant your hands to the floor, bend your right knee, take a couple hops, lift up, push the floor away, knee into your chest, squeeze into your legs, push, push, push. Maybe a couple hops, maybe just vinyasa, maybe hold it for 3, 2, and vinyasa. Just like that. You're doing great. You really are. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Let's come into flip dog. Place your foot down and lift your body up into that wild thing shape. Remember, doesn't it start to feel better and better? And then plant your hand down. Down dog kick. Exhale, low lunge. You got it. Crescent lunge. Bend the knee. Open arm twist over your bent knee. And then windmill. Get your children out of the way. Any valuables. Maybe you need a breeze. You should feel the front of your hip really start to open. Maybe it's creaking. This feels good. Might look funny, but it should feel good. Last one, pause twisting over your front knee. Exalted warrior at long last. Straighten your back knee, keep your front leg bent, reach up. Exhale, hook. Prayer twist. Cross your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Press your palms together. Twist a little so we're looking at each other. This is the one I think we held for a semi-uncomfortably long time because so much good happens here. Squeeze your back glute, lower your right hip just a little bit so you can twist a bit deeper. You can gaze up to the sky. Revolved half moon is your transition. Place your right hand to the floor or to a block. I always recommend block here. Lift up. Make sure you find that rotation again. Up. Now remember, I have a lot of options from here. So bend your back knee. Maybe you want revolved half moon with the clasp, Chopasana. Kick the foot to the hand, pull the hand to the foot. Squeeze your inner thighs. Maybe revolved dancer's pose. Lift up. Kick, pull, lift, reach. From here, bring your hands to the floor. We'll all meet in this kind of standing L position. No matter if you were in half moon or in that dancer's pose. Once again, we'll take a couple handstands. Even if you can't do handstand, it's fun to just kind of kick up. Gives you that sensation of flying. Makes you brave. Push into your palms. Lift your right leg. Kick up. Maybe a couple hops. Think about opening the top of the front of your top leg. That's what we've been doing. For 3, 2, and vinyasa. And downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees. Exhale, walk or hop forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, pull your hands to heart center. Good. Okay, we're coming into regular dancer's pose. What's nice is you already did maybe revolved dancers, which is way harder. So now regular dancer's pose feels so much more accessible. Lower your right arm by your side, lift your left arm to the sky. Grab the inside of your right foot, so your palm is to your arch. Push your hips forward. Remember, that's our action for today, pelvis forward. So you're already in a lot of the same movements that we've been doing, creating space in the back body. Kick the foot to the hand, pull the hand to the foot. Come into your dancer's pose. You can slightly hinge forward. Kick and a pull, lift. For 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, bend your left elbow by your side. Place your palm to your arch. Inhale, lift. Push your pelvis forward. Right, John Travolta hips, Elvis, whatever your hip muse is. And then kick and open. Less about hinging forward, more about kicking up. Kicking into your hand, pulling into your foot, opening to your shoulder, your back, working your balance. You're doing great. For 3, 2, and then inhale, rise up. Reach your arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step your left foot back. Good. Both hands to the inside of your right foot. Bend your right knee, runner's lunge. We're gonna get a bit deeper here, drop the knee. Option 2, stay on your palms, lower to a block or some pillows, or lower all the way down to the floor. Now you're really getting to the deep cuts here. I want you to keep action in your back glute, so squeeze your back glute, pressing your pelvis towards the ground. Option to stay here or rotate past your right knee. You can lift up onto your palm, bend your back knee, grab your back foot with your right hand and then pull it in towards you. Wherever you are is where you should be. So just find comfort in that. Like, this is exactly where I should be, and the process will take you where you're gonna go. So you don't have to rush it. Your hips are like, if you've ever tried picking up a bird and you're injured an animal from the floor. I was a weird kid, so. The faster you chase it, the more they run away, right? You've gotta like put your hands out and they come to you. Your hips are the exact same way. You gotta open up and let them come to you. If you chase after it, it like tightens up. All right, release the foot, push into your hands. One more time, wild thing. Spin your right leg up and over. Lift your hips to the sky. Push into your legs, squeeze, lift, open the heart for 5, 4, 3, 2, exhale, plant your hands. Right foot forward, left foot forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, bring your right foot back. We're just switching sides the easy way. Both hands to the inside of your left foot. Drop your back knee and pause. Maybe down on your forearms, maybe up on your palms. Maybe you have pause, I don't know. Just breathe. We're almost there. You can already feel that we're kind of cooling down. Doesn't mean it's easy, it just means it's less intense. And then maybe lift back up, spin over your bent knee, bend your back foot, bend your back knee, grab your back foot, and then pull it in towards you. Squeeze your back glute so you're really engaged rather than just kind of flopping into it. You want to kind of control, even the stretches, you really need a lot of engagement to do it in a healthy way. And then option to drop your forearm to the floor, feel the front of your right hip open, feel your body relax. The more you can control your breath, the better this is going to be. And mindfully released. Plant your hands. One more wild thing. Push into your back foot, push into your right hand, spin your left leg over. Lift your heart up to the sky, drop your head back. Squeeze, lift, open. And just breathe into the chest. Kind of open it up and just let it all go. Exhale, plant your hands. And step your left foot forward. Step your right foot forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk your feet back about 4 inches and drop your knees to the floor. So you're kneeling. We'll take some Ustrasana camel pose, which is another way to just kind of test out the opening that we've done in our hips. So if your hip flexors are tight and you work camel pose, it's something like this, right? This part doesn't want to open and then you're like, ugh. Okay, so, but if you have a nice open hip flexor and your back bend, your hips can go forward. You could really open up and make more of a uniform bend rather than just like relying on certain parts of your back. Again, blocks are great to have by your side for your camel pose. Okay, that just helps there. Otherwise, let's all meet with hands to hips. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Push your pelvis forward, roll your shoulders back, squeeze your butt kind of into your hands. Open up and keep your hands here. You can grab your heels. Hold for 5. Lift into your chest for 4. Feel the heart rising to the sky for 3. Pushing the pelvis forward. Last 2. Last 1. Inhale, rise up, uncurl. 1 vertebrae at a time. Chin is last to come. Exhale, sit and close your eyes. This is the best part of camel. It's like your espresso. You drink it and then you feel it, right? That's camel. Just soak it in. This is when you get to feel it. Something so good you can't just do once, right? So we gotta do it again. So good. All right. Tuck your toes under or keep your feet flat. Push your hips forward. Maybe have your blocks by your side to raise the floor to you. And what that does is it gives you more space to open, right? So never think of it as a crutch. Your blocks always just help open things up. Right, hands to hips, push them forward, curl your chest back, rock your chin, take your variation. Hold for 5. Maybe reach your hands over for 4, for 3, 2, and slowly come on up. Remember, you're coming out of it with your head rising last. Exhale, have a seat, absorb. Camel's just awesome. It's definitely one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites, I have to say. But camel pose and post camel pose, it's like magical, right? Okay. Spin your butt off of your heels. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Again, just shake them out. Stretch and open. And then let's go ahead and lower down to your back. Bring your legs up. Good. Flex your feet, point your feet, flex, point. Maybe you want to take a halasana, which is plow pose. If you don't know what that is or you have neck issues, maybe don't go into it, just keep your legs elevated. You can push your shins into your palms and your palms back into your shins, and that's a really great isometric hold. Otherwise, halasana, reach your legs up and over. You can interlace your hands. You can reach your hands back by your side. And we're just giving the hip flexors a way to relax and kind of not hold on. Taking the tension out. And one vertebrae at a time. Slowly lower down, all the way to your back. Bring your knees into your chest. And let's cross your right leg over your left. Move your hips to the right and drop your knees to the left. So we take a supine twist. Gaze past your right shoulder so you're really twisted up here. This is another great way to access that spinal rotation. I'm keeping my right shoulder down and I'm allowing the weight of my legs to twist my spine. So it's not about pushing your knee to the floor, it's about almost dangling. It gives you a better stretch. Come on up and cross your feet. Place your feet down and lift your hips up. Shift them over to the left, cross your left leg over, and then drop your knees to the right. Gaze past your left shoulder this time. Feel that spinal rotation. You see my knees are totally off the floor, especially when they're crossed like eagle. But you really use the weight to stretch the outer thigh and the spine. Come on back to center, uncross your legs, place your feet flat. Once again, lift your hips, pause, allow your pelvis to settle, drop the pelvis back down, and then let's hug the knees into the chest. Hug them tightly and bring your chin to your chest, hold it there. Chin to chest, forward to knees, elbows to thighs, squeeze, squeeze, tiny little ball, and then lay back down. All the way down, lay onto your back, palms to the sky, stretch out, take up space. And then like fall into your space. I want you to really let it go. Like light as a feather, stiff as a board if you used to play that game. You're just kind of floating. So you're floating on your mat. And again, it's the after. So almost like the practice soaks in after the practice. During it, it feels great, you're working, but afterwards is when you get that blissful sensation. When you're laying in your Shavasana and you're like, oh, yeah. And then all day you get to carry that with you. That's like one of the joys. I try to explain yoga to people who don't necessarily do yoga. It's hard to, but that's one of them. It's like you carry it with you. It's not just while you practice. It gives you a blissful sensation throughout the day. And just connect with your breath without controlling your breath. So you notice it. Again, you feel the pulsing. You feel the breath, you feel it all, but you're not trying to control it. You're just kind of letting it happen and course through you. Just coming into it, relaxing all through your body from the top of your head to your forehead, your temples, your jaw, your tongue, your shoulders, your belly, your knees, your hips. Just let it all go. I'll allow you to stay in your Shavasana however long you can. Usually suggest like 5 minutes if you have it. But I just want to thank you guys for joining me today. I feel really good. Let me know how your hips feel, your hip flexors, if you feel like you can John Travolta it up, or maybe you just feel better. But again, thank you for practicing with me. Namaste. And again, I'll have this class up on my playbook shortly. So if you didn't get a chance to take it all, or if you want to return to this class, hip flexors are something that, especially after a long day of work, it's going to feel amazing to open them and can really help you in so many ways, whether you want to gain flexibility, maybe you have low back tightness and you haven't been able to figure out why. This is such a great way to work on so many things. And anyways,